Hey everybody, welcome to We Watch TV, the podcast about the TV we watch. This is episode 49. I'm Daniel, she is Hope, and happy Boxing Day to all who celebrate.
I think
that's the wrong kind of boxing.
Is it?
Yeah, I don't think it's Rocky Balboa Boxing Day.
When I think of boxing, though, I think of Rocky Balboa and the Rocky series, which is a movie series that I like to watch in the wintertime for some reason. Or anytime, really, because the Rocky movies are great, minus Rocky 5.
I don't think I've seen Rocky 5.
Because you
Is that the one with Billy the Kid?
Yes. You
I haven't seen that
any
one.
of the Rocky movies. Guys, he hadn't seen any of the Rocky movies till he met me. And then I introduced him to how amazing they all are. But I was like, we're not watching Rocky 5 because it's garbage.
Well, just a wink and a nod to our fans out there. We are recording this ahead of time because we don't want to record on the day of. And by the time
we're time traveling,
by the time this episode podcast is done, I may have the opportunity to watch Rocky 5 because there may be a gift for her, Rocky related.
Daniel is the type of person that
I can't sit on it.
When he gets me a Christmas present, he'll like order something in like October.
I didn't tell you what it was.
And he'll be like, "Do you want to open your Christmas present now?" And I'm like, "What?" Like you're like a child when it comes to like I can keep a secret, like, and you cannot. Like I remember one time as a kid where I accidentally found some of my Christmas presents, and I was absolutely devastated because like I thought it was all ruined. And you were the exact opposite. Were you the type of kid that would sneak?
No, I never snuck.
But when you get a gift for somebody else, you get excited.
Yeah, I'm more excited. I would say that for me, I am more excited to give gifts and see the reactions of people for them than I am to receive them.
Anyway, guys, welcome to We Watch TV.
It's the podcast about TV we watch.
And today is Boxing Day, which, according to Wikipedia, and no, I'm not going to donate to you, Wikipedia. Has he been asking you that every time you look up stuff?
Yes, it's that time of year.
Anyway, Boxing Day is a holiday celebrated after Christmas Day, occurring on the second day of Christmastide. Though it originated as a holiday to give gifts to poor people, today Boxing Day forms part of Christmas celebrations with many people choosing to take advantage of Boxing Day sales. There's always a lot of sales after Christmas. It originated in Great Britain and is celebrated in several Commonwealth nations. The attached bank holiday or public holiday may take place on the 28th of December if necessary to ensure it falls on a weekday. That's interesting. I know that I have some friends from Canada that told me Boxing Day is a way bigger deal in Canada.
I always just think of it as the day that I've got to do something with all the boxes from Christmas Day.
And I just think of it as boxing.
How do I get them out of the house and to the trash people?
Like boxing, like Rocky Balboa.
But honestly, like with Amazon, the way it is today, like every week is Boxing Week this year now because it's like I get how many boxes we get that I've got to figure out how to get rid of.
And then I'll forget like what I ordered and I'm like, what did I order? What? What did I do?
We did that. We just opened a haul like last week. You were like, "What is this?" And I said, "Well, I said, "Shoot." You said, "What are all these boxes?" And I said, "I don't know. They all have your name on them."
Sometimes they put the smallest things in comically large boxes.
I got something. Yeah, I got something the other day that was like, "What? Why is this inside this gigantic box?" And maybe they don't have a smaller box than that. I don't know, but it was just.
Your mom once wrapped one of my Christmas gifts in a used pizza box. So, Boxing Day can take on new meanings, but I like to think of Rocky Balboa when I think of boxing.
Okay.
Although I like Apollo Creed. Which is your favorite Rocky movie? You like the first one, don't you?
It's Rocky. Just Rocky, the regular one.
Do you think that because it won an Academy Award for Best Picture?
I couldn't care less if it won an Academy Award. It's just the best one
that
from
most
an
people
overall.
Disagree with you.
Well,
I think
most
Rocky
people
4 is the
are
best.
wrong. So
he defeated communism in Rocky 4. I must break you. We met Ivan Drago, but what's my favorite Rocky? It's not Rocky 4.
Yours is Rocky 3, right?
Rocky 3, because what do I love more than anything? A bromance.
Yeah,
and the bromance between Rocky and my favorite character from Rocky, Apollo Creed, really blossoms in that. We get the beach scene, the workout scene where they're running and they're happy and they're hugging, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Shout out to bromances. What's your favorite bromance in cinema history?
Probably.
Let us know.
Oh, I thought you were asking me.
I was talking to the listeners.
Probably Rocky and Apollo.
I was talking to all the three.
I like Iceman and Maverick.
Oh, yeah. I was
Top
talking to
Gun.
all three of the people that are going to listen to this podcast the day after Christmas.
The day after Christmas. Anyway, hope everybody had a good holiday.
Yes.
Those of you that are listening. And if you didn't, No worries. Boring January will be here soon enough.
Hey, so yeah, we just got a real quick short episode for you here today. We were talking, and I thought it was a really good.
You mean we're not just going to dissect all the Rocky movies?
I'd rather
Boxing Day?
not because I don't have much to say on that. The first one's
For a
good.
future podcast.
The rest of them are fine.
Whoa.
But I think that Rocky, like what you said about Rocky, kind of goes into our theme, which is what movies around the Christmas time do you what are Christmas adjacent films that aren't Christmas films? Like they are specifically not Christmas films, but do you associate with the time of year? I've got a list already built up that I can go for, and I just wanted to hear what your thoughts were on that.
I would still put, even though it's a Christmas movie, they have a New Year's scene in it, and it feels more wintry to me. I'm fine watching The Holiday with Cameron Diaz, Kate Winslet, and Jude Law and Jack Black. I'm fine watching that one after Christmas, even though it takes place during Christmas, because it has that whole winter vibe, and they do have a New Year's thing. So I'm totally cool watching that one. But like movies in general, this is hard for me because like Lord of the Rings would be like fall. It would not be winter for me.
Okay.
Like The Shire gives me very happy fall vibes. Harry Potter, I think, is great. Like, I know they obviously Happy Christmas, Harry, but I think that's a good movie to watch after Christmas, that time of year. I know I don't have, a lot to say, honestly. So I'm just going to let you take it off there.
Isn't there a Rocky movie that takes place during Christmas?
Yes, actually, I think there is. In Rocky 4, the fight with him and Ivan Drago takes place on Christmas Day. So if people are going to call Die Hard a Christmas movie, I think you could consider that. And Rocky also is a Thanksgiving movie because the original OG Rocky and Adrian go on their first date on Thanksgiving.
Multi-holiday movie affair, you could say.
It has something. Rocky franchise has something for everyone.
Do they celebrate Christmas in the USSR, or is that the point of having it on Christmas Day, like in that movie?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the big one for me is Star Wars.
And why is that?
Well, so when I was growing up, before in the early 90s, maybe even the late 80s, we didn't have like VHS copies of the Star Wars movies. I think they existed.
They probably existed, yeah.
But we did not have them. And so we did have like, at one point I know Mom recorded them on like Disney Channel or something, but I didn't have regular access to just watch.
You had the Disney Channel growing up? You had to pay for that extra.
I'm not familiar with the financial situation that took place. I just knew that it was there.
Okay.
But generally speaking, I didn't have access until about 97 to watch them whenever I wanted to. And so for me, a lot of times growing up, Thanksgiving and Christmas, there were channels that were always showing the Star Wars trilogy, the original trilogy.
Yeah.
And so I would hunt them down vigorously to find them so I could watch them. And so that was always something that just doing that, it's always felt like, you remember my granny's like sitting room with
best nap room ever
with the hot fire.
I had some good naps in that room.
So just like think about sitting on that couch with the hot fire going and Empire Strikes Back is on the TV.
It was always nice to be there because your mom keeps her house like at a sullen 30 degrees. And I was always freezing. Everybody that knows Daniel's family, like I remember when your sister got married and someone was like, I remember coming to your house, it was always cold. And I was like, see, it's not just me. But Granny's house was always warm, especially that room. And the naps that I had there.
Yeah. And
it's
so
like
that
a core
plus
memory for
you got
me.
that, plus you got the Star Wars movies on the background. It was a really good way to take in the holidays. And then as I've gotten older, I think like you mentioned Lord of the Rings as a fall. I definitely correspond Lord of the Rings to this time of year as well. Of course, they came out this time of year. First of all,
I remember seeing Return of the King with you. Didn't we? We saw that on Thanksgiving break, though.
I think so.
You
yes.
came down to my hometown, and that was like your first experience, right, at my home movie theater, the roller
believe
coaster.
so. Yeah. Oh. But the Lord of the Rings to me I think like you could almost take the Lord of the Rings trilogy if you wanted to break it up like this and like watch the Fellowship in October and the Two Towers in November and the Return of the King in December and kind of make it that whole like fall.
What's your favorite Lord of the Rings?
My favorite movie?
Yeah.
The Fellowship of the Ring.
What do you think's mine?
I think that you originally would have said Return of the King.
I would still say Return of the King.
You still say Return of the King?
Yes, but I have an affinity for Fellowship.
Okay.
I don't really like the second one as much. But one of the reasons why, when Daniel first introduced me to Lord of the Rings,
oh my gosh,
he made me watch the extended versions.
I didn't make
and I
you
don't
watch
think
it.
you should have a newbie watch because
I
that
agree.
second one dragged.
I agree.
Now the long goodbye, the Hobbit goodbye is not just Hobbits, the Lord of the Rings goodbye. That's an original scene in all the movies, right? Where
It's
they take
longer
like 45
in
minutes.
It's longer in the extended version, but yeah, it's.
I
in
feel
the
like
original.
that's all of our family gatherings. We do the Lord of the Rings goodbye. You got to start when I speaking of the holidays. Everybody gets together. Daniel and I start giving each other the signal. We know we got at least minimum 45 minutes, so we're actually getting the heck out of there.
So it goes like this: you start, you're all sitting in whatever room you're in at the house, at the gathering, and you start sharing looks, and you're like, okay, we got to start wrapping this up.
Yeah,
and
we
getting
have
out of
a
there.
signal.
That's stage 1. Stage 2, one of the two people, usually the one that wants to get out of there quicker, stands up.
Yeah.
The other one's still sitting, and that's signal number 2, and starts moving around. And then eventually somebody actually says, well, we better get out of here.
But then you got at least 30 more
at
minutes.
At least 30 more
get
minutes
out.
Because you've made the official announcement, but now you got to stand up, and everybody
Say
else stands
goodbye.
up, and you continue the conversation you're having keeps on going. And then eventually you start slowly, somebody eventually moves from the area, the communal area, and actually starts like getting their crap. That's stage 3.
Especially if it's like Christmas and you have presents
Yeah.
and stuff. And then you have to get told to watch out for deer.
Yeah, watch out for deer.
We live in an area where you can hit a deer at any given moment.
Depending on whose house you're at, hugging may or may not take place.
Yeah, woo.
Let's hope dodging the hugging, if she can help it. Then you start getting coats on.
Yeah.
Right? And then
you probably have to go pee yourself.
You probably,
Like, you have to go pee
there's
again.
definitely bathroom breaks in here. If we've got our dog with us, you got to round him up. We may or may not have him. Then you start getting to this place where you've got coats on and you've gotten the packages that you've received, and more hugging takes place. And more talking. Slowly you move to the doorway.
Yes.
And then the question becomes who's going to open the door first, because you don't want to seem rude, but you do want to kind of go. It's getting dark outside. Finally, the door gets opened, and then the outside goodbye starts.
Yeah.
Where everybody goes outside, and then they continue to talk. And usually at this point, it's where you go, we should hang out more often. We should really attempt to do this more often. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But you say that you're going to do that. And then you have a couple more hugs, and then you start walking to your vehicle, and then everybody starts yelling goodbye to each other because we're putting distance in between, but we're still saying goodbye, and somebody may even be having the same conversation, and it's just this multi-layered approach.
Where you are, sometimes it's almost a game of chicken, like because everybody wants to leave, like who's going to leave first. And then it can be the same situation where you're the host. We've been in situations before we're the host, and I feel like I've had to throw people out of my home.
Yeah.
Like, all right, I'm getting a little tired. I'm going to go back and take a nap. I'm going to start cleaning.
And sometimes the person who's staying there doesn't actually stand at their... They walk with you to the car. And so then you're in the situation where you got the car doors open and you're standing there in the car door still talking. And the person who wants to go quicker has already sat down, and they're looking at you. They're giving the 1,000-mile stare at this point, being like, come on, can we go, please? While you're still having that conversation. And eventually you're able to close your car doors, and then you start waving.
Do you ever wish you could just Irish goodbye a gathering? Just slip out. I feel like that would never happen.
I could pull that off. I think we could pull that off at your family gatherings.
Oh, no, I don't think so.
I couldn't pull it off at mine because there's not enough people. You would be noticed.
Maybe like at a big group, but I still think everyone would be like, where are you going? And then they'd all follow out to the car. So like where you are backpedaling a little bit, I never really, I'm the type of person that I can still watch because, the 12 days of Christmas technically started, a certain time. What do they say, like Epiphany, if you're religious, isn't until like January 5th or something? I don't know. Don't come for me, people. I know it's sometime in January where, still technically the Christmas season. Like, I could still watch a Christmas movie right after Christmas and be content because I love Christmas movies so much. So, and typically, too, you asked me this, if I get, a movie for I hope I got the Barbie movie this year as I'm recording this in advance. Future hope. Did we get the Barbie movie? We don't know. Like a movie that I might have gotten that year might be what I would choose to watch right after Christmas.
Yeah, I can see that. Like the whatever you got for Christmas might be kind of, if you got it for Christmas, you might think about it. I know it's not Christmas, but I got Gladiator was my first DVD ever. And so I kind of always think about that as Thanksgiving time.
Do you know what my first DVD ever was?
No.
The Santa Claus 2. My roommate got it for me for Christmas because my family still, my parents, bless their hearts, they still bust out a VHS copy of White Christmas that I got them when I was like in elementary school. And even though I've been like, I could get you that on like Blu-ray, and they have a Blu-ray player. We've seen they have
You've
like
got
three.
like 3 Blu-ray.
They've got like they're like Frank and Marie Barone. Like they have a bunch of stuff in the garage that they just never use, and they still watch it on the VHS. So, yeah.
All right.
Anything else you want to say about movies post-Christmas? We know everyone's probably tired. If you're at work today, good on you. I hope you get through the day. Maybe if you're listening to podcasts while you're trying to slug through your post-Christmas slump, maybe this gave you a couple laughs. If you are off on a break this week, lucky you. I hope that, maybe you'll watch this at some point. For me, I'm always you're excited to get back to routine after Christmas. Whereas I do feel that letdown after the holidays, but I also do like being on routine. So December 26th is never my favorite day, but I do enjoy talking about Rocky movies.
For a person like me that like really is routine based,
the holidays throw everything
the
off.
holiday, like the Christmas, the weeks up to Christmas, and then that dead week in between Christmas and New Year's, and even the week after New Year's to a certain extent, when everybody's just trying to get everything back in order, are like really disruptive to me in my routine, because like none of my podcasts that I rely on to get me through.
But we're back.
Are most of them are there, but like they're doing stuff similar to this, like short episode, and so it just takes it a while to smooth everything back over and get into the normal. And that's not to say that I'm a Grinch. It's not to say that I don't like the holidays, but certainly like it's just a very...
The Grinch had a reason to be moody. Those whoos were loud.
Yeah,
loud and annoying.
Mm-hmm.
He just wanted to chill and be left alone with his cute little dog. They were loud and abrasive.
Sure. Justice for the Grinch.
I guess so.
All right. Well, I think that about does it for us today. Like I said, we're just doing a nice short episode for everybody here, and just wanted to say Merry Christmas, Happy Boxing Day, Happy New Year's. And thank you again for those of you that have been listening to us all this time. We are coming up on a year here in the next month, and it's been really nice to see everybody listen and engage with us on social media. And it's just, this silly little podcast that we do actually has very, very dedicated listeners, and we really appreciate it.
Yo, Adrian! Thanks for listening to this episode of We Watch TV, a podcast about the TV shows we watch. You can find more from Hope and Daniel on Instagram at We Watch TV Podcast. Drop us a line if you like the show, have a question, or a recommendation. You can find Hope on Twitter at Lil Runner and Daniel on Twitter at The Real Hobo Dan. Music for today's podcast was provided by Your Tunes from Pixabay. Artwork was created using the AI program Midjourney with prompts written by Daniel.